8 and 11. They don't talk about it, and it is not by accident, it is by design. The Jamaican economy, because we study these things, we look at it, we know it like our hand middle. The Jamaican economy declined by 5% within that year. The Christopherson, who have been heralded and talk about and so on and heal, he was Minister of Agriculture then, and the agriculture sector declined by 5% under his watch. And on Mrs. So, those things are there at statin and the PIOJ for persons who want to, people who have green blood in them body and just start nonsense and ready to beat people and to talk. Just go and check it. Just do a little bit of research. You have a gadget in your hand. Look at it. Right? I'll go further. The Jamaican economy have its highest debt to GDP ratio in the 80s of all of 262%. The NIR was in minus $500 million. Omar Davis bring it up and PJ bring it up and leave it there at 2.5 going $2.7 billion. These are legacies that are there. They talk about PJ and PNP not do nothing. PJ Patterson built 17 new schools in his last 4 years. Andrew Holness is on the trot for 9 going 10 years. He just read his 10th budget and he has not built one school. Those are facts. Abo?
He has not built one school,
Not
and
one.
a school that was a primary and junior high is now relegated to a primary when there's no longer a junior high. And in the constituencies, when he got that gift school from China, he closed down about six to seven basic schools just to facilitate that school. 6 to 7 basic schools were shut down to facilitate that gift school that he got. And they talk about education. So I said to them, listen, when we talk about legacy, let us go back to way back to the start if we talk about legacy. What was the legacy of Bustamante? Oh, we'll go back there. I said, no, because that was where they were called, at the first time, we were called mafiantos. By the worldwide the outside organizations, because it was a seizing started from way back then. $9.5 million was borrowed to education, and before school was built, half of it was misappropriated. It was gone. Okay, they're not talking about the two education ministers and deputy minister who went to jail under Bustamante's watch, Simmons and Dixon. Nobody talks about these things. Yeah. They forget them. All of these things are put in the past. They're not talking about how Buster deceived his own cousin while he was working with Governor Richard, to say, listen, Norman wants to give the people education. The people don't want education. They want their bread and butter. That is what Richard said to him. And he was, while Norman was his advocate and did the thing at Up Park Camp, thinking that he was really locked up. He wasn't locked up. He was playing tricks with his cousins to facilitate, but because they said that Manley was too radical, Norman, and what he wanted to do was to teach the people. That wasn't what they wanted. So from way back then, this began. Way back then, all of this thing, and they always attack education. And they talk about legacy.
Yes. Yeah, man. So it's all, but we have to continue, Ebo, to really educate our people in the best way we can. Share the information, because some people, even some of those who are basically chomping at the bit for the Labour Party, the reason they are doing so is because they are unaware. Just last week, I saw a young man who was wearing dreadlock. Right there on the campus of the university, he stopped to purchase something at the little restaurant there, and I hailed him. So he looked at me and him say, yeah man, yes, fireman, And him say, "Hail the man, I really appreciate the work that you're doing on the radio." And I said, "Thank you." And he raised a point to me. And him say, "Brethren, you know, see me have on my covenant." Because he's wearing dreadlock. And he said, "You know, see me have on my covenant." And he raised the discussion with me and said, "Listen, anybody who said them a Rasta, or even if you're not Rasta, but you're wearing locks and saying that you're supporting the Labour Party, something is wrong with you." And he was referencing back to me what his grandfather and so told him back in the day when they actually catch all Rasta. Some of them, they use glass bottle to shave them and cut their hair. So I must say, listen, no man, nobody who wear locks on their head should dare to support the Jamaica Labour Party. This was what the man was saying to me. I was the one who initiated the discussion, and I just had to laugh because I know the history.
And the unfair thing is that this person said to me, "Tell me what would you vote against the Jamaica Labour Party for?" And as I said, okay, number one, SSL. No. I said number two, the on verification of on certification of holiness's statutory declarations, and the fact that they have not signed the code. No. And you know, him stopped me from talking. And I said, "How would you are asking me what I would, you know, what are the points I'd go against them for?" And I'm supposed to answer the way they want me to answer. Not talking about that. Not talking about SSL. I said, "Why wouldn't you talk about SSL? It's one of the most, you're talking about Finsac though, but you won't talk about SSL. Explain that."
At the same time, they're the one who torpedoed the whole thing with Finsac because they have the Finsac report and don't release it. And I'm sure, I'm sure about that you didn't get even to mention to the person the whole business of the fact that you would be voting for, because they had gone, the Prime Minister went into Garden House and made a case and sent people over there in Clifton to bulldoze poor people's house. You never get to tell him that. You never reach there, sir.
Cannot get to talk anything. They said that, you know what one gentleman said, and then I had to get down in the gutter with them. One gentleman came on and said, leaders are to be attractive and look a particular way, and I am sapiosexual, and because I'm sapiosexual, Andrew only appeals to me because he's attractive and tall. So I say, it's so like you're also homosexual, not only sapiosexual, because him call himself the bride. Him saying, in order to appeal to the bride, you have to be attractive. So I say, you're calling yourself a bride and you're sapiosexual. And if you are sapiosexual and a bride, what does that make you? I said, you don't understand Mark Golding. I said, Mark Golding, you know, the rary and bagga that you and your Prime Minister is not for show. It is not for gimmicks. He's somebody who works, and then what he does comes out, right? Absolutely. Because even the same Clifton thing, you know, I didn't know that he had taken Andrew to court on the same Clifton thing there, you know. I never knew that he took Andrew to court with the same Clifton debacle there. I never knew that. You understand? So you don't understand how this man works.
There's another case in Damian constituency as well. Forgot the name of that area there. Yes, sir.
I don't know, you know. I said something the other day and I'll say it again. We have become algorithms. And people who, so, you know, with algorithms, you get from these apps what you're interested in. So as this, you put up something about shampoo, then you start getting all kind of shampoo things coming your way, right?
Yeah.
So for people like me and you know, who we're looking for truth and we're investigating, okay, that's what we get. But then we're huddled in a bubble. So it's like we're talking to ourselves. Because when you actually think that an adult male who has cognitive functions, and you're saying to him, listen, this happened. It never happened. You're telling a lie. And it's Siaga say, no bastard no day again. Them lie. It's Siaga say equal pay for women. It's Siaga say, my God.
No, then that you deal with some sick cases when they get those. And here the thing, like I do, we point them to where they can go and get the vaccine, not our institution, not the PNP institution, but the institutions of Jamaica, such as Tatin, PIOJ, and the JIS that would have the archives and so on and so forth. Because this information, when we talk about them, it is there. That is also another thing, and I'm happy you mention it, because young women, and I'm speaking to young women now, women of childbearing age, who because from time to time women will get pregnant for a person who is married, somebody who is probably in another relationship and so on, and the child are born out of wedlock prior to the legislation that was passed out by the PNP. If you have that child for, say, somebody who was married, it wasn't your husband, the man could basically move away and said, nothing in my estate belonged to that child. The child would be at the base of the element of the heir. Under that legislation, where the Bastard Act, the child is duty bound to be treated as just as all those other children who were born in wedlock, right? The whole business of maternity leave with pay. Young women, you're enjoying those things because of the People's National Party progressive thinking, right? Women who move up the ladder now and basically getting pay with on parity with men is because of those legislation. So we have to constantly delve into the history sometime in order to educate our people. Because what we have right now is a fast food mentality, a fast food diet. People are not prepared to do the hard slugging. So that's why I even urge, for example, I'm not on their payroll. I'm not paid to advise, but I am a Jamaican at heart, and I want the betterment for Jamaica. So that's why I constantly say to the PNP that, listen, there are all sorts of programs like mine, etc., and what they do as well, the conferences that they have, they put out a lot of things. Put these things up in bite-sized portion, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute even, and so on, and put them out there in the various spaces so people can see them. That's how you're going to do it, because people are not going to sit back and listen to the long thing and so on. So you have to basically meet the people where they are, especially the young people.
Hold on. What's her name? Candy, something like that. Candy Flames and Comfortable Boris. You have all right to vote for who you want to vote for. You know who gives you that right? The advocacy of Norman Washington Manley. So you see, everything that you do in this country is affected by what PNP did, the groundwork that they did. Remember that Buster Manley was he's alongside there saying that he was a part of the advocacy group, but Buster was taught by his cousin to mark a X. So we know that it was Norman Manley who did it. So the right that you have, universal adult suffrage, where you can vote, that right was given to you. It was fought for. It was advocated for by Norman Washington Manley. So go ahead, enjoy it. People give you that right.
Yes. Let's address this. I think Candy Flame is saying your one vote can't stop make G. Can't stop Marky G. Okay. That no, but here what happened. Candy. What happened? The person one vote, right, may not be able to stop, but we're encouraging that person with that one vote to basically think and place that vote correctly. Place that vote correctly, because indeed your one vote adds up. All right. So we want to invite people to really think and ensure that you do the right thing. All right. Go ahead, Abba.
They want to tell you. Okay, I'm not supposed to talk about the 28 accounts that the IC had to use a fine tooth comb to dig up to find them, right? And you can't tell them, you can't account for all this money that is inside of these accounts. And I'm not supposed to talk about SSL, where people were fleeced of millions of dollars, right? I'm supposed to talk about it. And your prime minister did a budget presentation where he never even mentioned the SSL.
Yeah,
Okay, he never even mentioned it
that was
as if it never happened.
quite
You're
unfortunate.
supposed to talk about that. You understand? So I don't get it, and I don't get them based on what. If you come down the line, remember, one school I'm sure of was built out of that $9.5 million that was borrowed in that time in the 60s, and it was Edwin Allen, because the Minister of Education at that time, he built a school, Edwin Allen, and gave it his name. Right? They could not find the rest of money. Some schools were started. You can see remnants of these things in Clarendon driving past in some areas where things were started and was not finished.
It wasn't quite given his name by him. It was Frankfield. I think it was called Frankfield High back then, and then it was in more recent time. It was now named Edwin Allen High. Mm-hmm.
What I got from my research, it was called Edwin Allen High from then. So I'm going to have to find out. But someone in the comment section says, talk about Finsac. We cannot talk about Finsac. Here's why we can't talk about Finsac. Your prime minister has the report. The report that we paid almost 200 million Jamaican dollars for overtime to get done. And it was released, and he's released it in increments, right? So what he does, or what he has done, he went to UTEC and made a comment, he made a speech there at UTEC. And he told them that when you're releasing this, we're going to release it to the university to be used as thesis. Why we can't put it out for us to look at it now? So we can't talk about that. We don't really have, it is disingenuous of you to talk about Finsac. Because we all know why Finsac was implemented, and we all know who brought down Finsac. Okay?
Hold on there, Abo. This is something that we need to put in perspective, because some people don't even understand. People just come up and talk and say Finsac. What is Finsac? They don't. Finsac wasn't the problem. Finsac was basically the solution. Finsac was put in place in order to ensure that every saver, every policyholder of Life of Jamaica, Crown Eagle, that I was a member of that was a staff at the Eagle Financial Network back then. At that time I was a financial advisor. That all the people who had an insurance policy, who had savings, they got it back. Right? That was it. So people talk nonsense and talk about Finsac. However, the report also now put in perspective persons who owed the money and all of those sort of things and so on. And the Jamaica Labour Party dare not publish that report because they recognize that the report is not favorable to them. These people believe that we just get our head to wear cap on. We get our brain to think, our head to think. They can't publish the report, they dare not. It's similar to the Crawl report, that is out there now, and the SSL matter. That also we're asking for it to be published, and we should demand a publication on all of these things before the general election. So too should we demand who are the additional 7 persons who are investigated for illicit enrichment. We're aware that one of those persons is the most honorable Prime Minister Andrew Michael Rodham Brogard Holness. We're aware of him because of what the split we got from the IC report and so on. But who are the other 7? And again, as I always said, I am not here ascribing guilt or innocent. I'm just stating the facts as to what happened, because I'm indeed very, very careful. I'm in a blue boot figure go up now 11th step. Hello?
Yeah, you see, Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be careful. Yes, quite fine. But we are not fools. We are seeing who the syndicate is, and that's the word that you said used. When he spoke to that
Your
lady
name
there who went to the other
cannot
side.
PM. Why you asleep on the report?
Yes. And we know
Somebody.
who the syndicate are. And it's the same set of people. It's the same, and the names are out. There's nothing being hidden. It's not being hidden. It is the Vases.
Uh-huh.
It's the Stewart, the Leckler. It is the Bormans. It is the Coscaries. It is the Harding, Zachary Harding. It's all of them. We know who they are. We know
Yeah,
who they are.
well, certainly. And
It is
also,
called Chen. It's not. You say
Gerald,
it. You're not
hold
saying
on
it.
there, Abba. 'Cause we're not afraid to deal with it. Abba, Gerald is asking, is saying, talk about run with it politics, all right? Let me explain to you, because that's the other misunderstanding where people come and talk about run with it. What was run with it? Let me explain. There were, leading up to the general election, there were a certain amount of project that was on already in train, such as the building out of this road right in Clarendon from Mineralites all the way into Lionel Town. That's a strong JLP area, right? And in Southeast Clarendon, the improvement of roads in uptown there in Ligani area, all of those things. There were those projects on the ground. And what Omar said, that we're not going to stop those projects. We are going to run with it. We're going to run with it, or something of that nature. That's what it means. Run with it has nothing at all to do with any form of corruption or any malfeasance
And it's
or
a
anything.
Jamaican parlance. It's a
You
Jamaican
understand?
parlance, and I know it.
Is that, in other words, is that you building your house and you get it done, and a man say, "Boy, run with the project." That's all it means. So this kind of nonsensical argument, and you know what? You have people who are supposed to be sensible, keep on regurgitating this damn foolishness.
I used to be angry with them, but I'm no longer angry with them. I've realized what we are. And I've realized that they're not seeing the truth. The truth is eluding them. They just do not have the truth. They don't come with facts. They don't come with facts. They come with gimmicks, right? Now, if I'm not supposed to talk about a leading lawmaker who, for 5 years now, has not had statutory declarations certified, which is a part of being leader,
A
right?
part is being
Being
eligible
certified.
for leader.
Of course, it is.
Eligibility for leadership. Mhm.
It is. And it is not. And then when what you did, which innocent man tries to look guilty, what you did is that you took out a court order to muzzle or to quiet the IC when they were supposed to make a report the Thursday, and you went to India. And then a part of that is to say you need to be exonerated for 2 years. You must be
Gerald is saying
exonerated for 2 years.
the report you publish. All right, we're waiting the report. I am glad I have a
And that
brain to think.
they went too deep in your
I
privacy.
will
You
be
can't be a
voting
public
for.
servant and have any privacy. You cannot.
Yes, yes. Okay.
When you call up a code of ethics seminar that both parties went to, and at the end of that seminar, you never signed on to honesty, objectivity, accountability, leadership, openness. What's the other two? They never signed on to any of these. So that means that not signing
Transparency,
transparency
that's openness.
so that means that you are free reign to commit all the infractions that you're committing under governance now. That's all it simply must mean to them. And if people can't see what is happening, if after 9 years, you are saying to me that you are campaigning on roads and water and light, what did that minister over in the small island said? He said,
Go ahead.
any government that blames an opposition for
Yes.
anything like that. It's not a government. It's
Mm-hmm.
no one's a government.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's
It
a
is time for
syndicate.
them. It is time for them to go. Gerald here is saying to this day we are still paying for Run With It. We are benefiting from Run With It, my friend. That's where we have you drive. Go to Clarendon and drive from Mineral Heights to Lionel Town, and you will see Run With It. Drive go up into North Central Clarendon. Drive from the Guinea Tree area, heading up into there, and that lovely piece of highway there that take you up into close to CC, Clarendon College there. Go up there, that is what is Run With It. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you something, that there were people in the PNP at the time that said that, boy, there was so much other roads within PNP constituency that need to be done. And Omar and Sister P spend so much money on those roads. And what it shows is the kind of equitable government that you had under the People's National Party, because it was not just about a PNP constituency. Now you look at it, you have PNP constituency start here, so a JLP one end there, so, and none is fixed there. Right now, young Dr. Wall over there in Southwest St. Catherine, where Warmington is. He is crying foul right now because Warm as councillor for the Old Harbour South Division. Warmington say him not spending his money, and he's starving the people there and suffering the people within his own constituency just because they dare to vote for a PNP councillor there. That is the kind of skullduggery and so on that is taking place. And it is amazing that the people who are supporting the Jamaica Labour Party can't point out these things and join in a caravan. Those who live abroad who support the Labour Party, I'm urging you, and this I'm going to make a plug now. You can say I'm campaigning, because I'm urging you all to reach out to your family member in that constituency that is now represented by Warmington. Clifford Warmington. Tell them, say, they must vote for Dr. Wall, Dr. Kurt Wall. Vote for decency. Decency must be placed on the ballot in the next election.
Yes, and not gimmicks and optics.
No, not at all.
Optics.
Not at all. Not at all. Abo, you will be able to close down and post from your end.
No, no.
All right, cool.
But you see, let me tell you, I'll get up and later on I'll tell you how to do it. But let me tell you, I keep posting things on my TikTok, and people come up, and I remember somebody said,
one Mr. Market G, well clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. This is coming from baby
Simeon.
No, it's like
Simeon Tucker.
Tom King.
Simeon Tucker. No. Bobby King.
Bobby King.
Bobby King.
I'm wearing my glasses. Sorry, pardon me for that one. All right. And Bobby King is saying every time. All right. We're getting a lot of expression here, a lot of persons coming through. You can go ahead and read some of them, Abba.
All right. I saw what I want to respond to, but let me scroll back. What? That's all the JLP do is Run With It. Somebody said here, I'm learning so much. That is, hi Wiz, that is Wiz. I'm learning so much. Candy says PM bitter medicine. PM bitter medicine. I'm scrolling down. PM bitter medicine. Years we go. I can tell you, Candy, but it's a bitter medicine. You see, for where the economy is now. And this is something that happens to the PNP all the times. When the PNP gets the governance from the JLP, It's a lot of things that PNP has to fix.
Absolutely.
It's a
And
lot of areas that need to be fixed.
yes, and let us just for clarity about just remind persons, because this is, I'm sure nobody can say boy them never debate at that time, because this is our recent, very recent, when the PNP came into office in 2011 2012 there. The country could not get an IMF agreement. The country was shut out of the international capital market. We were seen as a pariah, right? The unemployment figure was way up. Also, poverty had ballooned. The Jamaican economy had suffered a 5% decline in that 4 or 5 years period. The agriculture sector suffered a 5% decline. Those are just a few of the things. As a matter of fact, the Jamaica Labour Party government could not take, they just did not pass the IMF test. They could not turn up for the test. Those are the hard, cold facts. What Portia Simpson Miller had to do. She had to leave Jamaica, leave her Christmas dinner, went to Washington, met with the Black Caucus, people like Maxine Walters and so on, engaged Christine Lagarde and begged for Jamaica not to be thrown out totally. When the PNP finally signed an agreement, they gave the PNP all the heavy lifting to do up front, because they said the Jamaica Labour Party take their money and never do what the IMF said them to do. They no mere say so. These are documented. Go on the PIOJ website and you will find what happened during that period of time. When Portia Simpson Miller and Dr. Phillips were at the helm, Prime Minister and Finance Minister respectively, the IMF basically sent congratulatory message to the PNP and use the PNP and use Jamaica as the poster child across the world. Those are the hard cold facts. Things like EPOC was basically a part of that creation in order to basically steady the ship and so on, and build a foundation that we now can talk about and of course the reduction of the debt to GDP started there very aggressively. And certainly what we can give this administration credit for is that they continue along the downward trajectory with the debt payment. But they have not done anything outside of that in order to take advantage and to grow the economy. And that is why we had the anemic growth of 1% or under 1%. And then we finally climax in the end of last year with 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth. The first quarter, 3.5%. And the final quarter, the fourth quarter rather, Q4, was a decline of 1.8%. Cumulatively, 5.3%. In any language, that's a biggie when you talk about your economy declined over 2 quarters by that amount. So these are things that we have the information. Again, this is not Conrad O'Brien, the fireman, saying this thing. These are things that are my colleague here, Abba, saying it. This is what is there, documented for you all to go and check. Go and check it. Don't take my word for it. Go and check these things. Over to you, Abba.
But remember, the BOJ had to attempt to stabilize $1 Jamaican. The BOJ had to use up 150 million US to save $1 Jamaican because they want to stay stable.
Still continue up to a couple of weeks.
Still continue because he said it the other day too.
Yeah, up to a couple of weeks ago. Maybe a week before last or whenever, the BOJ was in the market spending millions of Jamaican dollars just to keep the dollar calibrated. There's also another thing about that we must point out. Dayton Campbell, the spokesman on agriculture, he said to Jamaica, and it has not been rebuffed I reached out to Minister of Agriculture, Floyd Green, to have him talk about it. He promised he would come on my radio show to talk about it. He has been a no-show. Because Dayton said that is only 30% of the agri-parks are under cultivation. No, in our country that we're supposed to be building, where we're supposed to be ensuring that we have more Jamaican products being served on the tourist plate, we're supposed to be ramping up agriculture export so that we can spend less money for importation and so on, because we'll be earning from export. And we're talking about only 30% of our agri-parks under cultivation. That is untenable.
I'll tell you how to make me moderator on your programs. You come on, because even Churchill there is saying to add him for balance. Churchill, you are not balanced, and you could never be balanced. And what we're doing here now is not to get you on for any contradiction, because you will not accept truth. You have never accepted truth, and even the Liberites then beat you as a Liberite. You come in like dead man who Siaga used to beat. You still can't get it in your head. You cannot be a balance. You have no way you can be a balance, Churchill. So don't come with that, Churchill. Don't come with that, right? You need to be able to face the truth, and you need to have objective thinking, but you don't have that.
Should I
All right, go on, Churchill. Bring up Churchill for a minute. I'll tell you when to kick him out of the box.
All right, let's see if we can bring up Churchill for a minute. Where is Churchill? Churchill, you're up?
You see him?
No, I don't see him come up. I punch him up, but I don't see him come up as yet.
Churchill, send your request.
All right. Okay. All right. But we're up for a while now. I'm really going to have to try and go and get a bite. I'm getting hungry, so. All right. But I'm sure you have some other things that you want to close out with, Abba. Go ahead.
What I want to close up with, they keep saying in the comments that Marky G can't dress and Marky G looks like what? Listen, that's why we have gotten tricked so much. It happened even in relationships. Women will go out and they'll see these handsome, well-dressed men. I must say, a man should not be well-dressed. Don't. I'm just using an analogy for analogy's sake, right? And because he's well-dressed, this one,
Don't go up, Churchill. Oh my God.
Dirty girl, go. I would not know. No, man, I need to get the moderator thing for your pro. Next time you come on, I'll be able to kick them out.
All right.
Let's
put this to rest. Because I am not an admirer of Mark. Right? But I can tell you, I have seen Mark Golden, and I've seen Mark Golden out there, and Mark Golden can step into any space and compete with anyone. I saw Mark in the parliament, and when he presented the other day, and Mark was there off the chain, and I've seen Mark out there on the campaign trail, has his own style in terms of how we attire and so on, but clean and fresh. So I don't know where this argument.
You know who Mark reminds me of? Mark reminds me of Gonzalez. You remind me of Gonzalez. They're just casual and relaxed in their being casual. When they're casual, okay, they're relaxed in who they are. They don't want to validate. I see Andrew the other day. Andrew went to a fire burn thing downtown. Andrew had one jacket and suit. You are going to see the burnt out victims. And the man have got in one t-shirt when we can roll up and see try something, The man is there because it's all about optics for Andrew. Right. It's all about the cameras. What do I look like? What am I looking like here?
Marky G's performance, all the legislation that was put together to basically take out of the plight that the JLP government put Jamaica in. All of those were drawn by Marky G. I spoke to a minister of government, a former minister of government, and you know what the gentleman said to me? I'll call his name. Dr. Fenton Fergus. Well, I'm sorry, I shouldn't do that. But I spoke to a minister of government.
Hold on, little Conrad. Castro always have on him jacket. Castro was the jacket man. Castro was a bush jacket man. Them fufu.
Jacket
You
man,
never knew Castro. You
right?
never knew Castro. Castro
He,
was never a jacket man.
he wore a suit occasionally. He wore a suit from,
Occasionally.
but he
But he
wasn't.
was a bush jacket.
Yeah, man. You know, so
This morning I heard the man them that cussed Michael on the Liberate program. I was in the comment and the man cursed Michael. Somebody had to go up there because I wouldn't go because how I was feeling, I would have busted and been nasty to them. And the man said some nasty things about Michael Manley. And somebody went up there and said, if you can come here, you know, and talk about a man like that who has done so much for Jamaica, what would you say about Andrew Holness? Talk about Andrew Holness. You talk about the man who Andrew Holness was.
somebody is saying Jeff White is saying that he remind me of Michael Manley, and that is so true. A lot of people are making the comparison with Michael and Marky G, you know. And somebody is saying, hold on there. Whoa, let me go back here. Do things is saying that Castro always had a military look, and that's true. All right, that's true. What is? Hold on there. Denise, read what Denise is saying there. Abba. You see it below the Castro. Below Castro always had a military look. Read that. I don't want to read it and follow that thread. Oh, okay. Your mama is so disrespectful of you. All Portia better than Andrew. Well, that go without saying. Invite Gigi as a guest up. Let me see if we can bring up Gigi. All right. Gigi. All right. Hold on there. See if we can get her up. Get up Gigi. Oh. I'm trying to get up Gigi. Abo? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm here.
trying to.
See, while I'm here, no, I can't see you until you make me moderator. You seeing the moderator thing around there?
No,
What is it in front of you?
I'm not seeing it. Somebody saying marketing time come.
One market G time come. I mean, let's talk about. Not you. I'm going to talk about what I know about SSL because somebody just mentioned a while ago about
Hold on. Somebody is saying, hold on there. What this person saying? Maybe you go get some rest. To eat some food, some good food. All right. Cool.
Andrew must go spend tax money after the 100% increase. One market G, PNP all the way.
Yes. All right. Well, the person here who was saying this to me, that is Twitch.
Let me see what. Hold on.
Twitch is saying that I should go and get some rest and eat some good food.
Mark is embarrassing. Who did Mark embarrass for you? Let me tell you who Mark is. I don't get these people, you know, because Singapore use Manley's plan to build Singapore. Mr. Gonzalez said he used Mr. Manley's plan to build St. Vincent. Abraham Traore, who called himself corporate, says it is Manley's plan that he used. The man from Burkina Faso. What are you talking about? What am I talking about?
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to remind you of something after I read this one. And Twitch, thanks a lot. Twitch is saying that I should go and get something to eat and get some rest. All right, cool. And somebody is saying do things. Is saying Andrew must go spend tax money for after the 100% increase. All right. And Twitch is also saying one Marky G, PNP all the way. All the way. All right. And that some stupid person talk about Marky J embarrassing. Latta OB. Oh, okay. Oh, Latta is saying OB, much love, much love, much love, much love. All right. And all right. Boy, I want to get you as moderator for real, because some things I may say you really need to kick them. OB, great to see you on and and my wow. Okay, all right. And my FYP already. Cool. Blessings. Okay. One Mr. Marky G. Well clean. All right. So Marky G is getting a lot of quotas, and this is coming from Bobby King. All right.
In Venezuela, economy looking good. Yes, it is. Thieving Andrew. One Marky G must win. Power up Marky G are the best.
There's also someone that I want to mention here as they talk about Michael Manley. And you know, in Barack Obama, what is it called now? His bio, he mentioned Michael Manley and talk about Michael Manley being his mentor. Michael Manley was one of those person that he looked to, and I think Michael Manley is the person who gave him the impetus to go into politics. He also make reference to Bob Marley as well, because Bob Marley music was the choice of music that he listened to during his study. So when you talk about Michael Manley and a boy, if you come chuku chum chum, Mike, to borrow a line from Tiger Music, Michael Manley, a top draw person you talk about outside of Usain Bolt and and Bob Marley. Michael Manley is the only other politician, other Jamaican that you hear about, probably one of the only few politicians that you hear about globally from the Caribbean. So don't come and feast and fresh yourself, anybody doing it with Michael Manley. Don't do it. As a matter of fact, I tell you something, make them continue, because even labor right, if you want to get some labor right that is sensible, riled up, take on Michael. Because every labor right sensible labor right know that in terms of their children and themselves getting an education, that's Michael Manley, baby. People know. I remember, because my mother was at the hospital at the time, and a lot of persons who were there as hospital attendant is when under Michael watch, when a lot of them went back to school and so on. They went further and did, I don't know if it was called a practical nurse course at the time, but they did the program, and that's where the advent of the pink uniform nurses, caregivers come in. They're now called what they're now called, Abba? Wow, I forgot the name that they call. Assistant.
Yeah, but this person said Michael Manley gone, time gone. It's now 2024. He's not even cognizant of what year he's in. You're actually in 2025, sir.
Well, as I outlined a while ago, because this person may very well have born out of wedlock. So therefore, remember, before, if it was Michael Manley, and I'm not sure, but I'm just saying, if you were born out of wedlock, then certainly you would be referred to as a bastard, and there would be nothing in there for you. Your mother, if she was employed, she would have lost her job. There would be no maternity leave with pay when you were born. All of those things, and that is why Michael Manley is so fresh. All of us who happens to get some benefit from the National Housing Trust, that's a Michael Manley centerpiece. So let's be real. Andrew Holness in his budget presentation recently, the biggest chunk of his budget presentation was the National Housing Trust. So how can you not talk about Michael Norman, Joshua Manley? Huh? Come on.
See, you see, but even Andrew's father was so impressed by Michael that he gave Andrew Michael's last name, which turned out to be a curse on Andrew now.
Well,
Because he had
he's the original comrade, you know, and I gather that he
yeah, his
himself.
father, we know his father is PNP.
Yeah, and I
His
think,
father is PNP.
yes, and I don't know that
Yeah,
he
his
would
father is
vote in
PNP.
Labour. Yes, and I don't know that he would.
Oh, and let me tell you something. You see, Conrad, if you follow these people, you know, I remember they were saying when Cartel came out and was on the thing there on the PNP platform, how him up the song and the PNP put him in prison. And when I went and I said to them, no, he went to prison in 2011. He went to prison under Bruce Golding, and I
I'm
saw
bringing up Bobby.
when Bruce was asked to step aside by the CIA and put Andrew in, right? Andrew ruled for a couple of months and he called the election and Portia won. Okay? No, they don't get the history. It is there written, you know. But you wonder if that is why I'm glad that the PNP will be bringing back in Jamal so we can teach persons to be able to read. Because many of them cannot read. They don't know how to use the smart devices that they have either. Who is this person now?
Bobby, let's hear Bobby is up. Bobby?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Bless up.
Let me tell you something. You have me. I cannot understand these people. I cannot understand them at all. I'm going to say something now. Let's not go back. Let's not go back because it will be very dirty. Let's talk about now. Imagine 2025, we have 25% of poor water come out of the pipe tap. In 2025 year, shit water come out of the pipe where we are drink. Look into that down here in 2025 in Jamaica, and Andrew Holness cannot. What? No, me want to know, you know. Me want to know what more we fi do for them see it. Say that party is not progressive for Jamaica. No time. Them get it during the 60s, and what did they do with it? They get it during the 80s, and what did they do with it? Them get it now and show me the building, show me the structure, show me the housing scheme, show me something where them do for benefit Jamaican people. I wonder if them know say, yeah, enough of them are talk about art, the art program that the Michael set up. There was a thing called Operation Friendship.
Yeah.
We used to go learn trade. So till him turn it in him start send we go over Papa Fidel. Him start send we go over Papa Fidel. Youth service and Operation Friendship. That was where we start learn trade.
Yeah,
So all not jump up on the top.
you have places like Demby had a training center. You had the Kabla Youth Camp, and they were all over the place. So Heart Trust was somewhat of a kind of name change.
But that is what they are calling taxpayers' money for. If I start something and you come with the idea, we can lift it up. Don't break down what me start. You have to move along with it. This is what this one never do.
Similarly, King, what PJ has done with Heart, because PJ had the Archer, the NTA to it, and broaden Heart. Am I right, Abo?
Yes.
Abo?
That is it. That is it. But this one here now, him never go back. When him win, the way him so giddy headed and light headed, him never go back to Mama P and say to her, say, what make you lock SSL? What make you do this? No. That is what he should have done to take care of the Jamaican people. Go and find out why. But you see, corruption, we're tired of it. From the 60s.
Bobby, mute a minute, because I have an echo problem. Let's mute a minute. Bobby, you said that he should have gone back to Mama P and find out what? Find out what? He was a part of the whole thing. But I like it all, and he was a part of the whole thing. It's a syndicate. They were part of the whole thing. Why is it? Remember, our finance minister at the time got a call in 2013 to say, listen, there's something amiss at SSL. So get them to come and see what it is, because something is wrong there. And when the meeting was with the FSC, they said that, okay, listen, there's something not going right here. So close down for a while, right? At that time, Jackie Electoral, who is Jackie Stewart's daughter, she was on the FSC and she was representing the SSL. So that was where the conundrum was, right? When Peter said to them over time, when the meetings were not coming out, and Peter said, here, is either going to shut down or we're going to force shut you down, right? So when you shut down or force shut down, don't take on any more new clients. Just try to deal with what you have there and have it dealt with. And that was in 2013. And it was like that until 2017, when Wholeness gave them back the license. So they all knew what was happening. They knew what was happening. People are saying that Bolt's money was taken out when.
The letter.
You see, Bolt money, you know why Bolt never know that the money was missing from it went in? Here how Bolt never know. The same Miss Panton kept told us that, listen, I had to be writing letters, sending out to customers to say, telling lies, that okay, your investment has progressed, I just so and so, because it was 6.2 that you said invested, you know. You said never invested 12.8 million US, you know. You see an investment was 6.2 million US, and then he invested $400,000 a couple months later. So in all, he had invested under a little under 7,000 US. But then guess what? He kept getting these monthly things that said your investment is in good hands and your investment is all right until it reached 12.8. So he couldn't have checked that, because he was getting communications to say, listen, your investment is good. It is building up. It is progressing. Because he did not invest 12.8. Invested 6.2 in 2012, and it was a labor right syndicate, a labor right company run by the elites. The PNP never have nothing to do with it, because there was never one PNP investor in that thing, not even one. So people need to understand that they know what they were doing.
Understand. I can't understand. They just hard to learn. A leader can't get up and say fully done to them. I can see why him say they are fully done. You understand me? Every day when I get up and I beat about we wanna ask about Finsac. Me see a 200 million when you spend down here on Finsac. Telling the Prime Minister to release it, make the chips fly where they may.
Man, release it.
Release it. Why you hugging it up? You 200 million of taxpayers' money, and now you're talking about it same way. Fly the gate, let go the report, man. That's how you deal. That's how you know that you're transparent. You're in there for Andrew. You're in there. You let us shame. Look what you go do. You go sign paper. You go take deal. Before you take money from America to come build school and build up the hospital where you have down a Montego Bay, how much month or how much year now. You gonna take their money if you go promote LBGTQ pound with down ya. Well, Andrew, we can't like you for that.
What? Oh my God.
Andrew, low life.
Oh my God.
Shame for you, boy. You mad?
Bobby, mute a minute. Where did all those monies go? Because it was when Kamala was presenting 30 more million US and 12 more million US that she said to him, this is in addition to the one that you got. I would say, hold on. So Andrew, you get 1.5 million US to promote that thing there, and then come get 30 million US again. And tell me, where's all this money? You know what money that is? What happened to all of this money? And another fundamental thing to find out about, there was $124 million missing from Ministry of Education that they said they used to fund something else at the university that was misappropriated, and it went to court, right? And now we're in the final year now. So after this year, your statute of limitation says to you, you can't mention that 124 million again because time passed. Time passed. So what happened? That 124 million that goes down the drain like that?
Wow. Wickedness increase.
This is corruption at its very best in Jamaica.
Yes.
Andrew, look into yourself. The father, Daddy Michael, we call him, and him set up housing trust bill, house poor people. Me can remember the same community, Kingston 11, Tower Hill, when the yappies them come out at night time with the buckle boom, then call it Malative Cocktail, aka buckle boom. Jesus Father up at Tower Hill there. At night time, we have to run. People have to sleep all in a tree, Andrew, run at Kingston 11, they remember. And when we get the call, say the house ready at Portmore, we go over there without light. Home sweet home candle, we have a light, 1976. Me I go tell you how when, go look on it. 2 days before the general election, which was the 19th, a Monday, and we had to move the Saturday. Remember that, Andrew. So if me say you can't tell me nothing about run at Kingston 11 there. I threw you around there, make we not help Seaward All-Age School.
It's no longer all-age, Bobby, it's no longer all-age.
Hold on there, Bobby. Hold on there. Let's get into something now, because let's look at some things. For the last few elections, the Prime Minister seems as if he had a free ride, because, the Shocking Vibes man there, Patrick Roberts, he ran his stint, but I personally believe that the PNP had allowed him to stay for too long because he wasn't cutting it. Now we're seeing a man who is very, very serious, Paul Buchanan, in that constituency there, right? What's the name of the constituency again? West Central St. Andrew. And from all account, it seems as if Paul Buchanan is a very formidable candidate. That Mullines division there has a lot of PNP vote in there. And if he can maximize those votes, and I'm bringing this up, Bobby, because you seems to be a knowledgeable person with that constituency there. How do you think? Do you think Buchanan has a real chance there?
Buchanan have a real chance. You see if them get the Mullines division,
yes,
they're going to win that constituency. Once them get the Mullines,
they will get the Mullines division, but yeah, I think there's about 12 to 14,000 votes in that division there. So I think that if they can break out of that Mullines division with about 12,000 votes, then certainly West Central St. Andrew could be very, very interested.
Them are going to get the Mullines division, man. According to what the people, because we have a good friend down there named Tika, man. She know exactly down there, and to always see the people moving.
Yes.
Mr. Buchanan going to take the Mullines division. Hey, let me tell you something, man. Around them, I grow. You used to live at Dudney Road. Dudney Road. And when me say me never do the road, you switch part the police station bill now at the intersection of Bay Farm Road and Olympic. All right. When me live there, Jolly Bus I carry me come home then. Jolly Bus.
I know that area there that you talk about, you know, I can't say that I can tell you where every bus stop is and so on, but I've commuted that area somewhat, so I kind of know the lay of the land. But all in all, Bobby, what you're saying here is quite interesting, that we could very well, once that Mullines, and when I talked to Paul Buchanan the other day on radio, when I interviewed him, you know, he seems to be a very happy camper. And remember, Paul has this kind of history under his belt before, when he won that constituency up West Rural, St. Andrew. A lot of people weren't looking for Paul Buchanan, and he came home. Also, a number of persons not understanding about the history of that constituency. It's a constituency that was represented by Mr. Steve Wright. Also, the last time it was represented by the PNP was with A.J. Nicholson. A.J. Nicholson was, I think, a 3-term member of parliament there. And remember, at one point when Andrew ran, when Dr. Blake ran, the seat was actually declared for Dr. Blake. Something happened there, and pardon me, they had a rerun there, and some cluster, and it went over back to Andrew Holness. So the history of that constituency really shows that with a swing towards the PNP, anything could happen there. Election. Pardon me, true word.
Well, the real stronghold him of down there, so you know, in that constituency is the real Tower Hill section. The Tower Hill section, just a little Tower Hill section there, and a few in the compound region. But you say majority of the people around us are going to swing away from this party here this time. Yes.
All right. Amalo, O-M-A-L-U, Amalo is saying the PSOJ sell out Hurricane Michael to Washington to work with the same CIA PNP talk about. All right. So that's the person there. And indeed, we're aware of that. We're aware of that because the history has been shared with us now. It was written for some time ago, but we're getting more and more out of it now from the department, the CIA. They have basically published that. So we're not asking any question about these things. We know. See how so it go.
No. That person is a liberate, and the person is changing the narrative. The person is saying that what Siaga did wasn't Siaga. It was Michael. It was Michael who made the CIA bringing the poison flower.
This person. No, hold on. No, man. Amalo or Amalio, I think that's how it's pronounced. Molamau. Amalo is saying that the PSOJ sell wow, his writing is a little bit complicated here. I think he's saying sell out Hurricane Michael to Washington to work with the CIA.
Conrad, you don't know. That's a big liberate. That's a big liberate. Alpert is blaming Manley.
I don't quite understand what he's saying.
Confused because they didn't get Jamal. But remember. Don't pay them the mind, because when you come back on again, they won't be able to comment. We're gonna kick them or mute them. Now, what they must remember, somebody mentioned Hart a while ago. Remember when Siaga came in, he dismantled Jamal. They weren't about education, all right? Then he patterned something of what Manley had designed, the cobbler and the other programs, and he called it Hart, right? When he lost the election, Did the PNP dismantle heart? No.
No, they
For
are doing
18 years, the PNP took heart and made heart international.
Yeah, man. Another level.
They made heart international. We do not know what heart would have happened under the JLP. It was the PNP who adopted that child that he adopted. So his adoption coming on the end. He adopted Michael Pickney, and after a while he lost that child. The PNP got back the child, and the PNP for 18 years made heart international.
Absolutely.
Globally recognized.
You're correct.
So you're talking about
You're correct. You're correct.
at 3 times, you know, so at 3 times they tried to analyze Manley, you know. 3 times. They even went as far as use Cubans. Cubans, the ones who are defected from Cuba. Right? They tried to use them. And they used our pipeline men down here. And the CIA themselves, and the 3 times they tried to analyze Michael. And it never worked. Okay? And then what did they do? You know what they said? I don't know why Bob Marley did what he did, you know. Remember, because they said Bob Marley was radical and was friendly with Michael and the PNP.
Yeah, man.
And that's why he was pied up. That was why he was, and he knows who pied him.
Yeah, man.
Because when the person went to his house, he said to them, "Don't let him in. He was there. He's one of them." You understand?
Yeah,
and then
man.
he left and went to the CIA tried to kill the CIA tried to kill. Yes, and the CIA tried to kill him because they said his music. They said his music was radical. They said his music was radical. You understand? With buckle, with grass buckle.
Yeah, man. As where people say grass buckle, but we know it's glass bottle. All right. I'm going to have to leave you guys now. So we're going to basically kind of close off for today. But certainly, it was indeed a pleasure. Abba, it's a joy.
Let me just say one thing before we go. People must understand that history. Because remember, Marcus Garvey said, a people who do not know their history and their culture, it's like a tree without roots. And a tree without roots is dead. Okay? No history. You learn your history and know what happened, so you can make learned decisions, and the same things are not repeated. Right? Remember, they used a German ship to bring in a shipload of rice that was also poisoned. Siaga. After the flower thing that took 17 Jamaicans' lives. That poison flower that took 17 Jamaican lives through Siaga and the CIA. Right? They came back again with a shipload of rice that came from Germany. And they had to test the rice and they had to destroy that rice. They were after the economy, they were after us. They just wanted to get him out because we were friendly with our neighbor. Our 99 miles neighbor.
Yeah, absolutely. And they talk about Twitch is saying, so the Cubans are leaving as of today. Very sad. PNP and Twitch is also saying PNP strong. And Michael Levy is saying, good job. And Faye Thompson 1120 is saying, blessing OB, respect OB, PNP to the world. That's coming from Med's boss, and so many others are here on the grid. Want to say thanks once again, and indeed we will basically straighten out some issues here, Abba. We'll be in touch so we can actually do things even bigger and better. It's a joy. The fireman, Conrad O'Brien, signing off.
Hi, Faye. Okay, Conrad.
All right. If you have something that you want to say about to, and I'll allow you guys just close out for me. You and Bobby, you have a closing party.
Bless up, man. Me, as a man, we have to deal with Jeff. When we go in the office and we have a business, $1 billion business, and we go in the office and beer in Bunting and Golden, and we shake off on that line. What go on, Jeff? How things? as a man, we take care of my financial thing. During Bunting and Golden, me we trust him. Me trust him with my money. Me trust him with the money. What I say? The money. There are thousands of us in the diaspora. Trust Mr. Golden with the money. The ultimate thing, the money, the money, the money. Where
are you, Bobby? Where are you?
I'm in Jamaica now, you know. I'm in East Portland now. We came down a group of us fighting for Isaac Buchanan.
Hold on, Bobby. I can't leave you. Give me a 911. Give me an update on East Portland.
Have your number in. All right. When you finish the program, I'm going to give you a call.
All right, but give us an update on East Portland now. Before
East Portland bad. East Portland bad. East Portland bad. Bad. First thing, coming up from Port Antonio on the road, where this mission in action lady of our office, the first bridge, there is a 30-inch gas stove and a 45-gallon drum inserting a hole right at the bridge. That first bridge. We only get water tonight. Tonight, Thursday night, the water is going to come on Johnsontown Road tonight, only down here in Anchovy, East Portland.
All right.
Understand me? Down here is terrible, man. Terrible. We can't allow the youths them, when them left school, for go up and corner, go rub out them hand. We for find trade center, chop out down a valley, and build up some shop along the borderline, where them can go learn trade. Me willing to teach them, but set up the facility, because him a talk about the whole heap of trade man no there, lie tell, but we now work for $15,000. That now do nothing at all. That are just for full of one of the water tank on the house top.
All right, Bobby. Abo, over to you. The final words.
Okay, I'll tell people, you see, be mindful of history, be mindful of the past, you know, be mindful of the legacy of the labor rights of the JLP, and remember this: a country that does not produce, not a producing nation, has to be a crashed economy. There's nothing that is being produced. How can what is the arm of the country run by really? It's run by remittances, and even remittance even beats tourism. You get me? And they're talking about investments and foreign investments and buildings. That's coming like a brain drain. It's a money drain, because when these people make the money, it doesn't stay in the economy. It goes back to their country. It does not stay here. It goes back to their country. We need to get Jamaicans investing in Jamaica. We need to start growing. We need to start doing business. We need to start utilizing hard for what it was. You can't find a good plumber. You cannot find a good plumber. Teach skills to people. Really teach it, because they're talking about this program at heart. When they go there, they can't get through. They cannot get in. They cannot get through. So it's all a crap. It's foolishness. Remember, any government or any prime minister who takes the state to court has something to hide. And when Andrew took the IC to court, in essence, he has taken the state to court. Okay? And when you ask the court, one of the things you ask the court is to exonerate you for 2 years of not paying tax and all of that thing. Come on, who does that?
Just to say, Abba, you're absolutely correct with that person. You know him very well, Marlo. He's here saying JLP 42, PNP 21. You all need a new leader. He comes under this guy.
What you find happening, Here, I'll tell that person what you find happening. Here's what's happening. Andrew knows he's going to lose, so he wants to at least be opposition leader. So what he's doing, he's putting people around him. That's why he sent for either lady over so and bring her down here and put people around him who will back him, because he know that the people who are there now want to see the back of him. So in order for him to remain as opposition leader when he loses his election, he's putting people in place who have loyalty to him, and that's why he's doing that. Andrew knows. So if you don't know, Andrew knows. That's why Andrew sold off the Northwest Highway the other day, the share that we had in it, and that's why Andrew wants to know privatize Petrojam. So people, come on, no bother. Do the right thing. We're going to do the right thing, Conrad. We have some time to tell them because I tell you, Andrew will not call an election. He's an egomaniac. Andrew is an egomaniac. So election will not be called until after the August celebrations because this man just might be a statue and come in and stand up beside the statue, posing like the statue, and arrive in the stadium, or come down with a plane and out a helicopter, or something like that, because he has to. It's about optics, and he's gonna do. He's gonna try something very grand, but sadly, it will be his last August celebrations, his last independence celebrations. We cannot call it before that. He can't call it before that.
All right, good. Take care. We'll talk later. All the best. Thanks to everyone that joined here. It was quite interesting. Blessings. All right, so let's see. Where we are now. Okie dokie.